During the previous days, I was reporting about relatively low activity of the Kiev regime and its NATO backers in terms of these long-range strikes deep into Russian territory. And my reading of the picture was that probably NATO and their proxy regime in Kiev are stockpiling drones, and I guess that was exactly the case, because last night hundreds of drones were launched by enemies to strike deep into Russian territory, and at least 251 of these drones were intercepted by Russian air defense systems, according to RIA Novosti, and this information is based on Defense Ministry's latest update. So let me give you some details, dear friends, on that. Air defense forces destroyed 251 Ukrainian drones over Russian territory overnight, Defense Ministry reported. 62 drones were intercepted over the Black Sea, 40 drones over the Crimea, 34 drones over the Kursk region, 30 over the Belgorod region, 20 over the Nizhny Novgorod region, 17 over Voronezh region, 11 over Krasnodar region, 8 each over the Bryansk and Tula regions, 5 over the waters of the Azov Sea, 4 over the Ryazan region, 2 each over the Vladimir, Ivanovo, Kaluga, Tambov, and Oryol regions. So unfortunately, quite a larger scale of attack, and their geography itself is quite vaster. You can tell by these reports. 251 drones were intercepted. Maybe some drones did manage to bypass air defense systems and hit certain areas deep inside Russia. Unfortunately, this morning, several sources reported about casualties as a result of among civilians as a result of a night strike by NATO and the Kiev regime. Information is preliminary, but during the day, probably we will learn some more about it. And during the second or main news update this evening, during the live stream at 10 p.m. Moscow time, I will share additional information that will be available about this.